Hello everyone, this is Istvan speaking. Welcome to the channel again. I'm going to do a quick review of another book I've read this month, and this time we're going to talk a little bit about a horror book. And this book is by Jack Anderson, and the title is Has Anyone Heard of the Left-Right Game? It sounds very spooky already. Some kind of game that is mentioned in the title of a horror story always reminds one of the gossips and rumors that we heard when we were children, that if you say hook 3 times in front of the mirror at midnight, someone will appear behind you, and instead of their hand they're going to wear a hook and they're going to hunt you. So yeah, for me the title evoked that kind of funny childhood story and the scares that we played on each other with the trope. But this is a little bit different in why I talk about it. I normally try not to talk about very casual things or things that don't have a lasting value or greater importance. Why I talk about Anderson's book is because I think it is a very well written book. So what do I mean about that? By that, I mean that this is not your average quality of writing when it comes to purely entertaining material. It's a little bit above that. And what puts this book above the average horror flick or comedy flick or romance flick is that it is willing to admit constraints of human psychology and plausibility. Many horror movies, romantic movies, and books as well achieve effects in a cheap way. By that I mean that they basically contort or distort how normal human thinking and emotions work, how people produce their actions, what kind of motivations they act on and in what way. And they need to do this because the writer is not good enough to build a story which has a realistic, believable explanation of why the characters behave the way they do and why they get into the situations and do in those situations the things that lead to exciting scenes. You can see this in countless horror movies. Many of them are visually well done, the atmosphere is strong, but if you think back of the story, there are wildly implausible moments. For example, people in a haunted house or in a house where others are getting murdered, they split up into pairs or they go into rooms alone. Now, of course, it makes for good entertainment value in the short term, in the sense that that's how we're going to get funny jump scares and all that. But it's wildly implausible, right? In real life, almost anybody would group together, stick together, and a large group could take down most of the villains in these stories, or at least defend itself much easier. And what is one of the biggest strengths of the Anderson story is that he doesn't utilize this kind of contortion, distortion of the human psyche too much. It's fairly plausible. It uses very good language. It's very nicely described. He evokes a strong, good atmosphere. And I would say overall, this book is just good writing. And that's why it works as a horror story. Of course, Anderson, the other thing that's the strength of this book is that he's very original. He has some really good ideas that he puts into work here, and it's hard to put the book down. I think I read it in a few days, which is rare for me. So yeah, this is something I could recommend to you if you like horror movies, if you like a little bit mystical stories, and you're just looking for easy entertainment, but good quality entertainment. This book sort of is in that region. It's not great literature by any means, it's not a great book, but I think it's far above the run-of-the-mill production. So yeah, go and check out Jack Anderson's Has Anyone Heard of the Left-Right Game? The funny thing about this is, I wanted to note, it started as a Reddit entry on the No Sleep thread, but it became so popular that they made a podcast out of it with some fantastic sound recording, and as far as I know, Amazon is planning to turn it into a movie as well. So more exciting stuff coming up by Jack Anderson soon. Well, thank you for listening to me. Have a lovely day and take care of yourselves. Bye bye.